good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome indeed to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast. As we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Take back control of your life. Call them today. This is key here in July. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Yes, it's Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Now joining me from St. Pete, I was on the television box last night with this guy with Spectrum Sports 360, Orlando, Tampa, all throughout Central Florida. He is Mike Cairns. Dude, how you doing today?
Awesome, Mark. Good afternoon, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Mike does a great job, reporter, anchor, and we'll start with this. This is what's so funny, and I brought this up. We were breaking down the World Cup, and I had this moment. I had this moment where I'm like, we're actually doing this. This isn't crazy. We knew what we were talking about, I think, and I think the audience knew what we were talking about. As a sports fan and a sports broadcaster, right? You are a veteran. Does it blow your mind as well how much soccer has grown in this country?
It really does. And you and I are in Florida, we're privy to it because we have Orlando City, we have the Pride, we have the Rowdies, we have the Sun. We have a lot of professional teams here in Florida. So for you and me, soccer's like, okay, yeah, we have teams here, but on the larger scale in the country, yes, absolutely. I'm sitting in the newsroom and people have the games on at their desk. They have no idea who's playing or who's in what. But as I mentioned to you off air, they have heard of the stars. If you mention, guys like Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe, Irving Haaland, they're like, oh, yeah, I have no idea what team they play for, but I know they're really good and I've heard of them. So, yeah, it's blown my mind. But I think it makes me proud. I'm sure it does to you, too, as an American. As a host country, we represented. I thought the U.S. team went as far as they were expected to go, and they played well to get there. But as a country, I'm proud of the United States because of the way we hosted and the way we showed out at all these venues. How about you?
I thought we've done a phenomenal job. I'm with you. It's interesting. We already had stadiums built. Usually FIFA goes to a country and says, you have to build this, this, and this. And you're right that not only do people love our ranch dressing and going to Sam's Club, it blows their mind, but I think them seeing our football stadiums, they can't, because look, they all have stadiums. Maybe it's like Wrigley Field to them. It's been around for 100 years. But now, which is mind-boggling, crazy to say, dude, we're building new stadiums every 20 years now for teams. Have you noticed that as well, where we have these coliseums of technology when it comes to our stadiums?
Yeah, and I think it's crazy that we have these stadiums already built, and the only changes we made, we put in grass so they could play the World Cup on grass. And then you see the professional athletes go, whoa, man, our stadium looks really good with grass on it. How come we don't play on grass full time? You see a lot of the football players go, whoa, what's going on here? But they did a great job.
All right, here's the thing, though. You look at Team USA. We lose in the round of 16 to Belgium, 4-1. It was a disaster. Let's not kid ourselves. Are you happy, though, with the performance overall of what Team USA did in this tournament?
I really am, because think about they played basically almost the whole entire tournament without Pulisic because Pulisic was injured. He's their big star, but Flo Balogun was really the star of this tournament for the United States. And when you think about it, you cannot have just one gun when you play against these European teams. You got to have more than one. In the United States, as well as they played, and Weston McKennie was a big part, obviously. But I just don't think we had enough guns in the end to meet up with Europe. And as far as we've come in the United States in soccer, I think if you can't get past the European teams, you're never going to win a World Cup. Look at the Final Four of the World Cup. All four of those teams, the best in the world. All of them have won World Cup, some multiple. We just can't compete at that level. It's like basketball. You know how they go out and get the big three or big four? I don't think as a country we can compete against Europe, those teams, without a big three. At least a big two that are healthy. And Christian Pulisic was not healthy, and we all know that. And I think that cost the United States in the end.
I agree with you. I brought up this analogy on another radio show on Friday when they asked me about youth sports in America. And I'm like, look, Donovan Mitchell on the Cavaliers, okay? He signed a 4-year extension for $270 million. And I don't think he's a top 10 player. He's a great player. I don't know if he's top 10. 270. Patrick Mahomes, 500 million. Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, $700 million. What do MLS guys make? $1 million, if that? That's the problem. I know people, they argue with me. I want your take. Our top sports are football, baseball, basketball, and that pay the best. That's what kids see. I'm sorry if I'm saying that. What is your thoughts when you look at it in this country?
No, I agree. And you can throw the NHL in the mix too. Look at some of the extensions they get. They're not big compared to the big three that you should mentioned. And for soccer, you get paid when you're the superstar of your country, like a Ronaldo, like a Messi. Those are the guys that make millions and maybe some billions, because Messi has his own clothing line as well now. So those guys make a lot of money. But you're right. The MLS guys, if they make $1 million, some of the European players that come over and play in the MLS, like Orlando City just got one. The guy from France that came over. You're right. Well, I mean, look at us. We're laughing at $1 million. You and I would take that in a heartbeat. But you're, as a professional athlete representing at the highest level, it seems like nothing.
If I made $250,000 a year, I'd be a supervillain. Okay. My brain can't even comprehend making $1 million. Can you? I can't. I don't even understand what I would do with the money. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even know. But yeah, you're right. You're laughing because you know it's true.
I know.
All right. Who do you like in the Final Four? Who's your team then? Who you got?
I'm with you. We talked about this last night on TV. I like France a lot. And I didn't even look at the odds on, but when I just have always liked France. I've always been a Kylian Mbappe fan. Always. Love the way this guy plays the game. Love the way that he carries himself. He is the ultimate professional. When I look at a soccer player, I'm like, God, I would love to see this guy play in our country for one of our MLS teams. Nobody could afford him, obviously. But to me, Mark, I'd love to see France. And I'd love to see Harry Kane in England also get in. Harry Kane's another guy that I like a lot. I'd love to see them get in the finals. I think that would be so cool. I just think Spain is going to be a tough team to beat. But I'm France, and I know you agree with me.
I love France. They should have won it 4 years ago, but Argentina beat them in penalty kicks. They could be, in theory, going for 3 in a row. If it wasn't for, I want to bring this up. You bring up Europe. If you really take a step back and breathe and think about it, it's Europe versus Messi. That's how amazing Messi is. Okay. And every team in Europe is thinking, how can we stop that guy that's 5'6" and weighs 140 pounds? Dude, I saw Messi play in Fort Lauderdale for Inter Miami. I could not. It's like a superhero out there. Have you gotten the chance to see him play yet?
No. And how much has he, every time he's come to play Orlando, was it just one time? It's always like he's hurt or he's not right, just the one time. And I didn't get a chance to get up there to see that. I wanted to go cover it for our station, but we have guys that work in Orlando that were there. So I've never got to see him play. And that's one player that I would, I would definitely pay the price to go see that guy play soccer. And I'm not even a soccer fan, but I'd go see him play.
Okay, I've seen, and I know you have a list as well. It's like I've seen Jordan, I saw LeBron, Steph Curry, all the guys for basketball, which I'm very humble I got that opportunity. Football, especially going to NFL games growing up, I saw Dan Marino, Troy Aikman, anyone you could think of I saw, which is awesome. When you see Messi, you show up and you're like, all right, where is he? You go on you look, you get in your seat and you go, all right, where is he? He's the shortest guy out there. But if you're on defense, you take your eye away from him for 1 second, he somehow goes like this and he's right on the ball. It's the scariest thing. I don't understand how he does. I don't get it. He's as tall as my mother, Mike. I don't get it. Okay.
Well, you know what? You know what makes him great, Mark? You can put him on any team and he becomes the best player and performs. That's the sign of greatness. It doesn't matter. He could play for the Tampa Bay Rowdies tomorrow, and he would score. He might have a brace. He might have a hat trick in his first game. When he went and signed with Inter Miami, right away, he's just the greatest player. It's like whatever team he's on, it's like Rumpelstiltskin taking the straw and stirring it into gold. The dude's gold.
He is. And it's funny. Usually the knock is if you go to MLS, you're washed up. No, he's not washed up until he's back in the World Cup killing people. Okay. And he's 39 years old.
Right.
Oh, man.
Right.
All right. I tell people who don't live in Florida, the Messi effect, that every store you go into, there is Messi merchandise. I was in, I think it was a Ross or a Burlington. I can't remember. They were selling Messi cologne of this guy. Have you noticed this as well? Where they're just Messi shirts, everything. What have you seen?
Same thing. He struck a huge deal with Walmart, and I think one of the other ones that you mentioned for his clothing line. And they're not just soccer shirts, but they're all sorts of different kinds of shirts, t-shirts, button-up and shirts, polo shirts. And I walked in there and I saw the cologne too, and I was like, wow, he's really branching out. But then my question to myself was, what took him so long? The guy's always been a superstar. He didn't just become a superstar overnight. I think he just finally said, yes, I'm going to agree to lend my name to this merchandise and make even more money than I do right now that I don't need.
Dude, my dad likes the Robert Graham collection. He's the baby boomer in Florida. Robert Graham all day, baby. Remember, Ronaldo went to Saudi Arabia okay, we're talking money. He signed a 1-year deal for $200 million, right? Or euros. $200 million for 1 year. But Messi's like, no, I'm going to go to America. I'm going to get some of that Apple TV money, a percentage of Adidas, and just like David Beckham, future like ownership in the MLS. That's what he
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Let's go to the Tampa Bay Rays. I know we have the home run derby tonight. I know everyone watching, you're going to be rooting for the Mr. Ray, Mr. Junior, who is, what do you have, 28 home runs so far. Dude, Caminero, he's 23. Is this guy, is he the man for the Tampa Bay Rays right now?
Absolutely. He's special. And this season so far has been special for him, but it's been fun to watch him grow into what he is. And like you mentioned, he's only 23, so grow into it. But it's just amazing to see the process from when they brought him up at the end of the first season, let him play a few games. He was actually mad that he got sent back down. I remember that season well. He said, I'll be back, and he's going to be even better than what people saw. And he's proved it in the last couple of years. But just to watch him play, the type of guy he is, the type of person he is on and off the field, that's a guy that kids want to emulate because he plays the game hard. If he doesn't do something well, he makes sure that he does it better, or he works on that part of his game. So he's been a lot of fun to watch for sure.
All right. They are second to last in payroll, which is mind-boggling. They're 19 games up, or whatever it is, 18, 19 games up on above 500. First place, best record in the American League. How are they doing it, buddy? Is it magic? What is it exactly?
Dude, we ask ourselves this question like every year. It's the Eric Neander effect. And now the rumors are Neander told a couple of publications recently. It was an article by Bob Nightingale. I think he's the SI reporter for Major League Baseball, but he had an interview with Neander right before the All-Star break. They're all in as far as buying guys because they know this team is special where they're going right now with what they have. And it's like you mentioned, it's not very expensive. So names like Tariq Skubal, big names like that are starting to pop up on the radar as the possibilities for it. Could you imagine if the Rays went out and got Tariq Skubal and added it to that pitching staff that they already have? It'd be unbelievable. You know, Ketel Marte is another guy that's on another huge bat that they could add. The Rays do it the right way. And I think what they do is they figure out the landscape of baseball each year. This year, and it's funny, this year they've gone small ball. And I go back to the beginning when I was at training camp this year. And every year the Rays have a State of the Rays with Kevin Cash and Eric Neander. We all get together in the Rays ballpark there in Port Charlotte. And they get up on the stage and we ask them questions. Somebody specifically asked Cash about playing small ball. He laughed and said, we will never be a small ball team. And everybody laughed. It's like, no, we're going to win. And I'm like, okay. And then here we are months later, they're a small ball team. We all know it. They've hit a lot of home runs in the last few games, but they're not a home run hitting team. They're in the middle of the pack, maybe below. They're a small ball team, and they figured it out. There's a lot of teams that can't handle defensively small ball teams. They have speed. They have the fewest strikeouts in Major League Baseball. They have a highest team batting average in Major League Baseball. Guys have productive at-bats 1 through 9. It doesn't matter who they are or whether they've made an all-star team. They buy into the Rays, and somehow that's working. And it's worked every year, Mark. I mean, right now, they're 18 games over 500. That's the third best at the all-star break in the history of the Rays. The team 3 years ago was a little bit better. But percentage-wise, we're almost playing 600 baseball at the break. 3 games up on the mighty bazillion-dollar Yankees. Whether that can be, barring any injuries, can they keep it up? Sure they can. But they're doing it because they buy in to the method they think are the best method to winning games. And they're doing that so far.
Playing at that stadium, the Trop, compared to last year when you're at the Yankees, spring training home, has that helped them as well, the home cooking like that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they just lost when they got beat the other day, I think by the Yankees. It was their first loss at home to a team in the American League East. It's that good at home. They still lead Major League Baseball with the best home record. But I've been to the Trop. I've been there for work and just for pleasure. And it's night and day, the differences they've made. Not that I'd ever wish for a hurricane, but the hurricane's probably the best thing that happened to them because of what they've done to the Trop. But the players buy into that. They like the fact that it's difficult for away teams to play at. It used to be, everybody used to complain, the worst field in baseball. I don't know if you can say that now because they spent so much money to fix it. But at the same time, they take full advantage of what they have there in that dome.
It reminds me of like those Minnesota Twins teams from 25 years ago at the Metrodome. Like it's the same thing where it's just like it's a house of horrors for other teams. All right. Then the last one, I appreciate coming on. Last week, more renderings, more photos of the new stadium. And someone asked me the other day, what are your thoughts? I go, look, just build the stadium already. I'm sick of time. You've done this a long time. What are your thoughts on the latest on maybe a new stadium?
I'm with you. We know it's a process because of the ownership change. Ownership has to grease some palms. They have to get in good with all the right people, county officials. And that's what Ken Babby and his guys are doing right now. And the fact that I will say this, the fact that they released the renderings. Now they've released renderings before, but not like this. When a few years ago, when they wanted the stadium on the water in Ybor City, they released stadium renderings of what it would look like on the water. But they've never been this detailed, Mark, which makes me think they're a lot farther along than they've ever been before to getting a stadium. And they've connected with all the right people. And the fact that they've redone the money now so that the county is going to be paying less. I think apparently it's going to save them around $80 million, which is massive. And they've gone back to guys who said, okay, I'm going to vote this temporary pass right now, but I'm not going to vote that way again if the money stays the way it's done. So Ken Babby and his guys went back, figured out what they could do, went back, made an offer and said, hey, what if we reduce it by $80 million? We take on that and you guys pay this. I think that's gone well with a lot of the county officials that are going, okay, this time around when the vote comes up, I think they might have flipped some of those votes that made it so close to the fact that they're going to move forward. And the fact that he's even on the air talking about these renderings the other day during the game, that to me is a really high quality sign that not that they're getting close to breaking ground, but a great sign that they potentially could do it.
Okay, just want to make sure I have this right. Is it in Tampa or St. Pete? Where is this?
It's going to be in Tampa.
Okay. All right.
It's going to be in Tampa.
I know, because there's still confusion on this. Like, what is happening? Like, look, I want them to be in that region. I feel bad saying I don't want Orlando or a Nashville or any other town stealing that. That team belongs there. That's their team. And I really feel that way after a while.
I agree.
Yeah. We see this. Hey, my Bears are going through this right now. Indiana wants to steal the Bears. They're on record. I don't want them stealing the Bears. Okay? Like, no. So I want the Rays to be there in the Tampa region. Mike, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it as always, and have a great week. All right?
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me.